the raw, unpolished sound of indie music that captured the angst and dreams of an entire generation. It's like a time capsule, bursting with forgotten emotions and rebellious vibes that still resonates today. But here's where it gets controversial. What truly defines indie in the millennial era? And could some of these picks actually blur the lines between underground cult classics and mainstream hits? Let's dive into this nostalgic rabbit hole. Sparked by a Reddit thread that had fans passionately debating the most quintessential indie albums of our youth. A savvy Reddit user, u/folkbaroque, with a link over at https://www.reddit.com/folkbaroque, kicked off a discussion in a post titled, "What's the most indie millennial album in your opinion?" Check it out here, https://www.reddit.com/millennials comments 1NQNNKY. What's the most indie millennial album in your eye? _access __ and faux. Enthusiastic music lovers flooded the comments with their heartfelt picks, and I've curated the standout responses right here for your listening pleasure. Spoiler alert, I've tossed every single one of these gems into my personal nostalgia playlist for those late-night reminiscing sessions. And this is the part most people miss. These aren't just albums. They're portals to the eclectic mix of folk, rock, and emo that shaped millennial culture, often flying under the radar of big labels. Let's break down what 16 dedicated fans shared, with a touch more context to help newcomers get the full picture. One contributor firmly championed The Crane Wife. Listen here, https://olac5uikm relche 205e by the Decemberists as the epitome of indie spirit. They noted that nothing screams millennial more than Portland's hipster scene blending vintage storytelling with modern angst. Think of it as a folk rock tapestry that's equal parts whimsical and introspective, perfect for anyone exploring indie roots. Another fan hailed White Blood Cells. Check out the playlist, https://playlist, part list playlist by the White Stripes as the ultimate indie triumph. Released on the indie powerhouse Sympathy for the Record Industry. This garage rock classic, with its stripped-down energy, is a staple for anyone under 40 who grew up humming "We're Going to Be Friends," a simple tune that captures the innocence and chaos of teenage friendships. Is this it? Available on this YouTube playlist? https://playlist/list/ without OLAKXPPU I by The Strokes. A partnership between the Beatles and this Strokes is off the hook. It's nothing but the epic golden hours, incredible, music terrific, is just transcending anything in your way. Minimalist rock sound pioneered the post-punk revival, influencing countless bands and serving as a gateway for beginners dipping into the genre's cool detachment. A nostalgic shout-out went to Through Being Cool. Explore it via https://list plxpteq playlist by Saves the Day, remembered for blasting it at max volume in a first car at 16. As a pop-punk anthem, it embodies the raw energy of youth rebellion, with lyrics that resonate as a coming-of-age story for entry-level indie fans. Emergency I, 1999 by Dismemberment Plan. Watch a teaser here, https://www.youtube.com/vrmu184b. Was the pick for someone who recently caught them live in Richmond. This post-hardcore gem, with its experimental rhythms and introspective lyrics, showcases the era's embrace of intellectual rock, making it a thought-provoking listen for those new to the scene. With a hint of hesitation, one user suggested the phrase, "How to Save a Life," playlist link, https://www.youtube.com/playlist, olacxuinb, youtube.com/playlist, acknowledging its splashy impact. While it leans more pop rock, it's often debated for its indie cred, highlighting the blurry boundaries between underground authenticity and accessible appeal. Controversial, right? Without any doubt, Sing the Sorrow. Dive in here. https://www.youtube.com/by-AFI. One of the best AFI concerts ever made. It's often debated for its indie cred, highlighting the blurry boundaries between underground authenticity and accessible appeal. Controversial, right? Without any doubt, Sing the Sorrow by AFI stood out, especially for the emo pinnacle of the Leaving Song. And for fun, take this quiz to see how emo you are. https://www.youtube.com/playlist/by-AFI. It's one of the best AFI concerts ever made. It's often debated for its indie cred, highlighting the blurry boundaries between underground authenticity and accessible appeal. Controversial, right? Without any doubt, Sing the Sorrow by AFI stood out, especially for the emo pinnacle of the Leaving Song. And for fun, take this quiz to see how emo you are. https://www. Listen on this playlist, https://www.youtube.com/playlist by the Unicorns was declared the unrivaled best by one fan. Surprised Gen Z hasn't rediscovered it yet. As a one-of-a-kind indie pop explosion with quirky, whimsical elements, it represents the era's playful experimentation. Could this be the hidden gem future generations will unearth? For the most indie vibe, a suggestion landed on Iron Wine's early works. Sample here, https://www.youtube.com/watch/start radio 1. These folk-infused tracks, with their gentle acoustics and poetic lyrics, offer a soothing contrast to louder indie scenes. Finally, Transatlanticism, explore via ystps://PeachLB-rounded-list by Death Cab for Cutie was a transformative pick, with tiny vessels forever altering a 19-year-old's perspective. This indie rock journey through love and longing resonates as a heartfelt soundtrack to personal growth, complete with lush arrangements that elevate it beyond simple psalms. So what do you think? Does this list capture the true essence of millennial indie? Or are we overlooking some game-changing albums that deserve a spot? Is indie really about label independence? Or more about that rebellious spirit? And hey, maybe some of these aren't pure indie by traditional standards. Do you agree or disagree? Drop your thoughts, counter-arguments, and additional picks in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these albums shape your own coming-of-age story. Note, I've lightly edited these responses for better flow and clarity while keeping their core intact.